Pearl May Bailey was an enigma, a woman who defied all the stereotypes. Born in 1918 in Newport News, Virginia, she was a versatile performer known for her singing, dancing, acting, and humor. She was also a dedicated humanitarian, but her life was not devoid of controversy, with a tumultuous personal life that often made the headlines. In this video, we will take a look at some untold stories from the life of Pearl Bailey, while you enjoy some of her rare photos. Her birth was a surprise to her devout Pentecostal minister father and homemaker mother, who had expected a boy and had even chosen the name Dick for their unborn child. Despite the gender surprise, they affectionately called Bailey Dickie throughout her childhood, a testament to her ability to defy expectations from the beginning. The family relocated to Washington, D.C. when Pearl was just 4 years old. Here, her father led one of the largest congregations in the city, where Pearl developed her love for music and realized the potential financial rewards of a career in performance. Despite the joyous Sundays, home life was tumultuous. The constant arguing between her parents led to her mother leaving with the children for Philadelphia. The family remained in dire straits even after her mother remarried, with each child, including a teenage Pearl, chipping in to help. At 15, Pearl was cleaning houses for wealthy white families in Philadelphia. Observing her brother Willie's success as a tap dancer, she decided to follow in his footsteps. Her first performance at an amateur competition left the audience astounded and won her a 2-week gig at the club. But when the club went under, she was left unpaid and jobless. Despite the setback, Bailey was determined to pursue a career in performance. She won another amateur contest at the Apollo Theater and began performing on the vaudeville circuit, which took her to New York. Despite her success, she barely made enough to get by, leading her to accept some less than ideal gigs. Her first long-term contract was on the coal circuit, performing in the coal towns of Pennsylvania, an experience that often ended in violent brawls. In her personal life, Pearl was a magnet for male attention. She met a drummer on her tour of Pennsylvania's coal towns and they quickly married. However, the marriage was short-lived, ending after just 18 months. Tired of the coal circuit and her failed marriage, Bailey returned to Washington, D.C., only to have her nightclub gig disrupted by the outbreak of WB2. Determined to continue performing, she joined the USO to entertain enlisted men. This took her across the country, but also exposed her to the harsh reality of racial prejudice. Despite her status as a performer, she was not immune to the segregation and racism of the time. One fateful evening, Pearl Bailey found herself drawn to a New Jersey nightclub where Frank Sinatra was set to perform. Envisioning a night filled with captivating music, she stepped into the club only to be brutally assaulted by 2 white men upon her arrival. This hate crime left Bailey not just physically hurt, but also profoundly disturbed, grappling with the haunting question, why would a man hate another person, someone he's never met, just because their skin color was different? What was he truly afraid of? Despite this horrific incident, Bailey didn't cease her performances for the USO during WA2. In fact, it was during this time that she fell for a soldier. Their love story was a whirlwind, leading to a quick marriage that unfortunately ended just as abruptly, as her husband struggled to adapt to post-war civilian life. Refusing to let personal disappointments slow her down, Bailey focused all her energy on her career, and her tenacity didn't go unnoticed by the universe. In 1944, she arrived in the magical city of New York, where dreams are said to come true. Bailey quickly made her mark in the city's high-profile jazz clubs, singing to an audience that was as diverse as the city itself and included celebrities and influential people. It was there that executives from Columbia Records discovered her, instantly recognizing her talent and signing her to her first recording contract. From that point onward, there was no stopping Bailey. Performing in New York required Bailey to shed her inhibitions on stage, a change that was greatly appreciated by her audience. Beyond Columbia Records, Bailey also created hits for Coral and Roulette Records, including the provocatively titled song For Adults Only. Collaborating with jazz legends like Cab Calloway and Duke Ellington, Bailey even managed to find some solace from her traumatic experience in New Jersey when she met and collaborated with Frank Sinatra himself. Their professional rapport blossomed into a lasting friendship. Bailey's talent wasn't limited to singing. She made an impressive Broadway debut in St. Louis Woman and continued to captivate audiences in other hit Broadway musicals like Arms and The Girl and House of Flowers. Her acting prowess eventually led her to Hollywood, where she was cast in the all-black film Porgy and Bess. However, she wasn't afraid to voice her concerns about the portrayal of black characters in the film. Bailey adamantly refused to wear a bandana, considering it a stereotype, and was equally vocal about the undignified and unnatural Negro dialect in the script. She argued that the characters should converse naturally without the dated vernacular. Her candid feedback resulted in significant improvements, and the film was a hit. However, her professional success didn't echo in her personal life. Despite 2 failed marriages, Bailey remained hopeful about love. In 1948, she married John Randolph Pinkett, hoping that the 3rd time would be the charm. Regrettably, Pinkett turned out to be not just unsupportive of her career, but also physically abusive. After enduring 4 years of this torment, Bailey finally filed for divorce in early 1952 after a particularly violent altercation. Despite her tumultuous personal life, Bailey's career remained unaffected. Her perseverance and hope in finding true love would soon be rewarded. In the quest for true love, Bailey had seen a fair share of disappointments. However, her journey led her to Louis Bellson in 1952. A famed drummer and bandleader who collaborated with Duke Ellington, Bellson was as smitten with Bailey as she was with him. She had decided to try something different this time, and it wasn't without its challenges. Being 6 years younger than Bailey and white, Bellson defied the norms of the day. In the racially charged atmosphere of 1952, their relationship was met with public criticism. Undeterred, Bailey dismissed the controversy with her memorable quote, "There is only one race, the human race." Belson's father was a significant detractor, his objections centering on the color of their potential grandchildren. However, the couple found solace in the support of their mothers. They exchanged their vows at Caxton Hall, London, with their closest friends and family present. Their marriage was a blissful union. They settled in their California home, Apple Valley Ranch. Bellson left Duke Ellington's band to become Bailey's music director, balancing his time with other bands and composing music. Their happiness seemed unending, but the question remained, would it last? Before their wedding, Bailey was asked to perform at a press club lunch for President Dwight Eisenhower by a friend-turned-senator. Her rendition of her hit song, "Won't You Come Home, Bill Bailey," was well received, paving the way for more high-profile performances. However, her success in Washington, D.C. was met with criticism from those who disapproved of her association with a slow-moving government on civil rights. In response, Bailey maintained that she cared for all and lived her life with love, hoping it would rub off on others. She continued to take on roles that highlighted racial issues, including the landlord and all the fine young cannibals. Bailey's popularity led to international opportunities as part of America's cultural diplomacy. The exposure allowed her to interact with global leaders, educators, and celebrities. However, the constant travel took a toll on her health. Returning from one such trip in 1965, Bailey fell ill. Despite her deteriorating health and against medical advice, she continued performing until she collapsed. That year, she was hospitalized 5 times, twice due to heart seizures. During her recovery period, Bailey discovered her talent for writing. She utilized the time to draft her autobiography and write poetry. This led to the publication of The Raw Pearl in 1968. After her recovery, Bailey made a triumphant return to the stage. Her portrayal of Dolly Gallagher Levi in Hello, Dolly was a major success. Her performance won her a Tony Award and immense popularity among the audience. Bailey's success continued with her own television show, The Pearl Bailey Show, where she interviewed several celebrities. This platform also hosted Louis Armstrong's final TV appearance. But whether this streak of good fortune would continue was yet to be seen. Pearl Bailey was more than just an entertainer. She was a legend in the world of show business. Her extraordinary energy and commitment led to her appointment by President Richard Nixon as America's Ambassador of Love in 1970. This was not a mere honorary title for Bailey. She took it to heart, traveling to the Middle East, meeting with the Shah of Iran, and even performing for Egyptian President Anwar Sadat. However, the constant hectic pace began to affect her health. In 1974, while in Denver, Bailey collapsed due to exhaustion and the effects of high altitude. She recovered, but it was later revealed that she had serious heart issues that had caused her to technically die for a few seconds during one of her episodes. Despite her health challenges, Bailey's personal life flourished. She and her husband, Louis Belson, adopted a son, Tony, shortly after their marriage, and welcomed a daughter, Dee Dee, in 1960. The family resided in Pearl's beloved Apple Valley Ranch, with Bailey balancing her time between home and work. Bailey was always hungry for knowledge, and in 1985, she graduated from Georgetown University with a degree in theology, proving that age is just a number when it comes to learning. Her many accolades include the Screen Actors Guild Lifetime Achievement Award, the USO Woman of the Year in 1969, and the New York City Bronze Medallion in 1968. However, the honors bestowed upon her by President Nixon made her the proudest. In 1974, President Gerald Ford appointed Bailey as the Goodwill Ambassador to the UN. She actively participated in UN debates on the Israel-Arab conflict and AIDS epidemic. Bailey also worked with Barbara Bush on a U.S. literacy campaign, constantly emphasizing the importance of education and action. Pearl Bailey was known for her generosity and close friendships with other celebrities, including Joan Crawford and socialite Pearl Mesta. She was always there for her friends in times of need. Bailey's health, however, continued to decline over the years. In August of 1990, while recovering from routine knee surgery, Bailey suddenly passed away, likely due to complications from her heart condition. Her death at the age of 72 left a void in the hearts of her family, friends, and countless fans. Following her death, Bailey's hometown of Newport News honored her by naming the local library after her. American Dad, a popular TV show, named a high school after her, and the National Museum of African American History and Culture displays a dress that once belonged to this remarkable woman. Despite her passing, Pearl Bailey's legacy continues to inspire and captivate.